The 2022 budget has outlined proposals to manage the expenses of the government. The proposals include: the finance minister should issue quarterly warrants instead of annual warrants to authorize the expenditure of government institutions for the entire year. Implementing a work plan to transform approximately 300 state-owned enterprises into profit-making ventures. Suspending the construction of buildings for government institutions for 2 years. Reducing the fuel allowance of ministers and government officers by 5 litres a month. Cutting down the telephone expenses of government institutions by 25% and reduce the provisions for electricity by 10%. Extending the minimum term for MPs to be eligible to receive pensions from 5 years to 10 years.
This proposal is valid for all positions including the presidency for whom salaries are paid from the consolidated fund. Legal provisions are required to be formulated to bring this proposal into effect.
Introducing an appraisal system for public service employees based on key performance indicators. Extending the retirement age of public sector workers to 65 years. Implementing the special goods and services tax proposed by the 2021 budget. Amalgamating life and property insurance of Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation. Installing a countrywide telecommunications network to provide fibre optic connections to all schools.
All media frequencies would be issued in future at an open auction. We consider this as a public asset. Therefore, we don't want to give it based on friendships.
Establishing a three-wheeler regulatory authority. Establishing a contributory pension scheme for senior citizens who don't receive pensions. Not charging registration fees in 2022 for new startup businesses. Providing uncultivated lands to women and youth. Drafting a Green Agriculture Development Act to protect farmers. Relaxing conditions to attract foreign direct investments. Using lands of the Department of Railways for mixed development projects. Making it mandatory to obtain permission for all constructions. The Finance Minister has also allocated funds for the development of several sectors. The proposals include providing a 5,000 rupee grant for a hectare to minimize the use of weedicides, providing capital to farmers to produce soil and liquid fertilizer, introduce new agricultural technology, and improve the cultivation of export crops, allocating funds to improve the production of fish-based products and liquid milk, allocating additional funds for projects relating to drinking water, irrigation, road development, and renewable energy. Implement housing projects targeting low-income families in urban, rural, and estate sectors.
For the discussion with the village program, 3 million will be allocated for each Grama Nilladhari division. A total of 4 billion will be allocated for this. It is decided to increase the budgetary allocation provided to all members of parliament for development activities of the respective divisions by 5 million rupees. I propose to allocate 85 billion rupees for the Gamasamaga Pilisandara program. If we trace back all budget estimates in the recent history from 1886, I would like to point out that this is the first instance when such a huge amount of allocation is provided for rural development.
The 2022 budget has also allocated funds to provide relief to sectors affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. This includes for school van owners who lost their income when the country was placed under lockdown, Funds have also been allocated to protect eco-sensitive areas including Muthurajavela. The budget also proposed a program to establish 1,000 national schools and to allocate 5 billion rupees for the digitization of the judicial sector to avert delays.
I propose to extend the provision of the nutrition basket for expectant mothers, which is valued at 10,000 rupees each for a period of 2 years from the existing 10 months. An allocation of around 15 billion will be made for a program identifying economically poor families at Gram Nilidhari levels to provide them with a relief basket to alleviate the pressure caused by the increased cost of living.
රුපියල් මිලියන 15,000ක් පමණ ප්‍රතිපාදනයක් වෙන් කරනවා.
The budget also proposes to establish a mini supermarket chain called Home Shop for women entrepreneurs. The budget also proposes to allocate 500 million additional rupees for the digitization of the public service and to provide motorcycles for public service officials.
The government, through the cabinet decision dated 30th of August 2021, has agreed as a matter of policy to eliminate the teacher principal salary anomaly issue, thereby ending the trade union activities. For the expeditious implementation of such policy, I propose an additional 30 billion rupees be included for salary payments. This is in addition to the current allocation of over 109 billion rupees on teachers and principals' salaries.
The budget proposes to offer permanent appointments from January 2022 to graduates already recruited as trainees and to provide compensation for victims of political victimization.
The Finance Minister also outlined ways of generating revenue and minimizing government expenditure. This includes imposing a one-time tax surcharge of 25% on companies with taxable income over 2 billion rupees for the year of assessment 2020 and 2021.
There are 62 companies like this. Let us see who they are.
මේ බද්ද රුපියල් මිලියන 100ක් පමණ උපයා ගැනීමට අපේක්ෂා කරනවා.
We hope to generate 1 billion in revenue through this. The VAT on banks and financial service providers under supply of financial services by specified institutions is proposed to be increased to 18% from 15%. This tax should not be shifted to the customer. It must be paid by the banks, finance companies and insurance firms.
Bankui, finance company, insurance එකයි.
The budget proposes to impose a 2.5% tax on the annual turnover exceeding 120 million rupees under the name Social Security Contribution. The tax on cigarettes has also been proposed to be increased by 5 rupees.
වහාම ක්‍රියාත්මක වරණ පරිදි සුරාබද්ධ වැඩි කිරීමට යෝජනා කරනවා.
It is proposed to increase excise tax with immediate effect. A gazette will be issued today. An additional revenue of 25 billion rupees is expected through this tax increase. It is said that motor vehicle accidents have increased. It is proposed to impose a fee on vehicles meeting with accidents with the opportunity of reimbursing this fee from the insurance. There must be a difference between a person who causes the accident and doesn't do it. It is proposed to impose a fee on vehicle modification. It is proposed to release all vehicles seized at the Sri Lanka customs. There are 700 vehicles stuck at the port. It is expected to earn an additional income of 4 billion rupees from these proposals. Without hindering the legal actions taken by the Attorney General, it is proposed to transfer to the Treasury the 8.5 billion rupees that the Perpetual Treasuries Limited has earned in violation of the Code of Conduct of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka.
මුදල මහා භාණ්ඩාගාරය වෙත වහාම මාරු කිරීමට යෝජනා කරනවා.